Ever scroll through Facebook Marketplace, spot some cheap old computers and just skipped right past? Here's the thing, those so-called junk PCs could be making you an extra £200 to £500 a month. And if you've been wishing for a side hustle that doesn't need a ton of startup money, doesn't take months to learn, and actually fits around your day job, this might be exactly what you've been looking for. In this video, I'll break down what PC flipping is, the step-by-step playbook I follow, and why right now is the perfect time to start. Stick with me and you'll see how to turn a dusty old computer from £0 to £500 profit in just days. At its core, PC flipping is just buying used computers and optimizing them for things like gaming, editing, or streaming. You're not just reselling, you're adding value, such as upgrading the graphics card, adding RAM, swapping in a fast SSD, or even just giving it a proper deep clean. I'm going to walk you through my 3-step process in which you learn about sourcing, which gets you from £0 to 100, then upgrading, which upgrades your £100 to £300, and we go into selling, that turns that £300 to even more. And trust me, the last step is where the real money is made. So stick around for that. This is where it all starts. And honestly, it's one of my favorite parts of the process. I hunt for undervalued PCs on Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Gumtree, and even local office clearouts. And here's the best part. You can start with nothing. Just look for free or near free office PCs. Businesses often upgrade in bulk and their old systems end up sitting in storage or listed online for nothing. I've picked up machines for free, given them a quick clean, listed them on eBay for £50 and sold them in days. Sure, that won't buy you a house, but it gets your foot in the door, and trust me, that first sale is really addictive. But finding the PC is step 1. The real money starts when you move on to upgrading. Upgrading is where you take a basic PC and transform it into something gamers and creators actually want. Sometimes it's simple as adding more RAM, a better GPU, or just upgrading an old hard drive with a faster SSD. I've turned £100 office PCs into £300 gaming rigs with just a single £70 upgrade. Let's say you find a 2nd gen Ryzen 5 system with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 gig storage. On its own, maybe it sells for £150. Swap the case for one with RGB and tempered glass for just £30 and add a £70 RTX 3050, and suddenly a £150 PC becomes a £350 machine. A clean £100 profit. However, I do want to note the biggest mistake beginners make: spending too much on parts that don't actually add value. Instead, you want to focus on the next step, the one that can take £100 profit and turn it into £300 without much extra work, and that happens in selling. Now look, I'm also a person who values functionality over form, but in selling, presentation is everything. Just to give you examples of what I do, I set mine on a tidy surface with a clean background. You can even grab a cheap poster board for just £10 and they'll make your background look 10 times cleaner. Next, once it's switched on, I take a couple of photos, also including a couple of the shots from the PC, so showing them that it's Windows activated, it turns on, and also showing a couple of games running on it. Also, plus point, record a short video. You can upload that in Facebook Marketplace and even eBay nowadays, and that alone can boost clicks and build buyer confidence, because if they know it turns on, they are likely to buy it as compared to just looking at photos. And now, the most important bit, the description. You want to start off with who the PC is perfect for, then explain what kind of performance it can deliver even before going into the specs. And the reason why that is because people want to know what it can do as compared to what's it got inside. However, you still want to add the specs in there, so that's the last bit I add in the description. And here's the secret sauce for getting found: the keywords. Use the brand main specs in popular games like Ryzen, RTX, Fortnite, Warzone, GTA 5. Done right, this tip can mean your PC sells in days instead of weeks. And that's not just a nice bonus, that's exactly why 2025 is the perfect time to start. People want something that runs modern games without destroying their wallet. And right now, that's exactly what we can give them. And parts are everywhere. Every time a new GPU or CPU generation drops, people upgrade and offload their old gear. That means powerful RTX and Ryzen CPUs are flooding the second-hand market at prices we couldn't have dreamed of a few years ago. And here's the thing, these aren't worn-out parts. If they haven't been misused or physically damaged, modern PC components can run for years with zero issues. The last reason, it's rewarding. Taking a forgotten old PC that's headed for the bin, breathing new life into it, and transforming it into something powerful and useful again. That moment when you hit the power button, the fans spin up, and everything runs perfectly. That's pure satisfaction. But the best part comes at the handover. You pass it to someone who's been saving up for months to finally get into gaming, and you see their face lights up. That's when you realize you didn't just sell them a PC, you gave them a way to play with friends, launch a YouTube channel, or edit their first video. That's the kind of payoff money can't buy. And it's the reason why so many of us keep flipping even after the first few builds. Now look, the worst thing you could do after seeing this video is watch the whole thing, get excited, and then take no action. But if you're even slightly curious about trying this, your next step is simple. Watch my video on the things that I learned in the last 6 months of flipping PCs. I'll walk you through exactly what worked for me and how you can skip months of trial and error. Click it now, because the sooner you start, the sooner you could be holding that £100 profit in your hand.